everyone's buzzing about this New York Times article that talks about women in college and how they are bypassing serious relationships and they're taking part in the hookup culture. Now, a lot of writers like Amanda Marcotte would argue, well, yeah, duh, why is this surprising news? But for a lot of people, it is surprising because there's always been this misconception about how guys want to play the field and they want to have a good time. But women are a little different. They want a serious relationship from the get-go. Not the women at Penn. In fact, 60 women were interviewed for this New York Times piece, and the majority of them said that they are in favor of being part of the hookup culture because they just don't have time for a relationship. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Now, you're not talking about the University of Pennsylvania that I went to.
Yes.
Okay. Now, times have changed. Okay. Because when I went to Penn, they went...
In 1962.
Right, exactly. Okay. I'm old school, right? But no, that's the thing. I went at the worst possible time. In 1962, you probably would have gotten laid. 1972, everybody's like, oh yeah, flower culture, whatever, right? Now,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what happened.
Right. And the flower power, whatever, etc. And when I went, and honestly, this gives you a sense of how old I am, 88 to 92, okay? Oh, the hookup culture, there was no such thing as hookup culture. I remember a girl literally told me, I will only kiss you now if you promise to go out with me. Like we have to be dating, otherwise I don't want to hook up. Oh, for Christ's sake, well, I don't know. Well, let's hook up first and let's see where it leads, right? So there are no hookup. Now, it doesn't mean that people didn't hook up back then. Of course people hooked up, right? But is there a different mindset? Definitely. So let's see what people are doing now, and Grandpa Cenk will comment on how it used to be.
All right, so let's actually go to the first graphic. The top 5 reasons for choosing hookups over serious relationships. Of course, number 1 is because these women want to focus on studying and grades. They're ambitious. There are more opportunities for women in the job market and in the field. So they're deciding, you know what, we'll focus on serious relationships when we're in our late 20s, early 30s. Next one.
Not buying it.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
All right. Need time for meetings, sports practice, student organizations, or internships. So extracurriculars while they're in college. All of these extracurriculars take a significant amount of time. So these women are like, yeah, sure, I'm interested in the sex, not interested in the relationship.
Buying it only 28%.
Want flexibility to travel in and out of the U.S. for their career, which I think is important because a lot of people do have to travel. We're in this global economy now.
So they're saying they don't want to date people because if you're in the middle of dating, then you're going to be reluctant to go to Timbuktu.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Not buying it.
By the way, this is based on testimony from these women. It's not like these are assumptions that the New York Times made and Cenk isn't buying the assumptions.
I understand that. I'm not buying what they said.
They want to assume someone better will come along. Okay, so I think that's actually a really good point because usually when you're in college, you haven't really found your identity yet. You know, you're still growing, you're still learning, you want to experience things and you want to figure out who you really are. If you start dating someone in your late teens, like let's say you're 19, 18, whatever, you're dating someone, you're going to change significantly once you enter your 30s.
Right.
Or once you get to your 30s.
I actually think that's a really solid reason and I believe them on that. At the same time, though, like just because you date someone doesn't mean that's it. You're automatically precluded from dating anyone else. You're not signing a marriage contract. Calm down, right? So I'm halfway buying that one. Am I not merciful? Do you have any others? Because I'll tell you the real reason.
And the last one is they don't plan to marry until their late 20s or early 30s. So why get serious with a guy anyway? Why not just have friends with benefits and do what guys like? You know. Guys like to do anyway. I mean, guys would much rather hook up, so why would
ding, 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 we have a winner. Okay, so the last statement, again, I buy it a little bit, etc., right? But the culture has changed, and guys' expectations have changed. Back when I went to this, coincidentally, the one they did this giant story on, I happen to have gone to that school. Back when I went to that school, guys did not have the power, right? Women had the power, and you had to be like, you know, you had to woo them, you had to convince them, you had to go out on dates, sometimes multiple dates, before you could even begin to hook up, right? And that's just how it was. Now, for whatever reason, guys seem to have the power. And so they're like, oh, I just want to hook up. And so I think that a lot of women, and look, bring on the hatred and we'll bring on disagreement in a second, but I think a lot of women have convinced themselves No, I just wanted to hook up too. No, it's not that I'm just following what the guy said. I just wanted to hook up. Yeah.
Cenk, guys wouldn't be able to lose this so-called power, and I like how you call it power, unless girls were willing to have sex outside a relationship anyway. So in essence, women changed their standards and they realized, you know what, I don't need to be in this time-consuming relationship right now. I'm young, I want to have fun. So if I want to have sex, who cares? Some people might think I'm a slut. Of course, there's that double standard, but society's changing and I'm going to do what I really want to do.
Well, that's part of the societal change.
And that's the reason why the guys in college no longer have to do like the courting and all that other stuff, because women in college want to have sex too. It's not just something that's exclusive to men.
I actually agree with 90% of what you're saying. I think, first of all, societal standards have changed. We don't have that stupid thing anymore where you call women sluts if they sleep around. I mean, obviously it exists to some degree, right? But it's waned, thank God, right? So that's a huge part of it. Do women also want to have sex? Of course they do. And before they were shamed into like, but you should only have it after the 17th date. Whereas now it's like, who gives a shit? If you're gonna have sex with a guy, have sex with a guy. I think that's a great change, right? But if you're telling me, but if on top of that, so I agree with everything you're saying, but if on top of that you're telling me that women are not likely to catch feelings after a while, I don't agree with that at all.
So, okay, so let's address that for a second. I agree with you on that point. I think that if you have a so-called hookup buddy, as a woman, and I think for some men it's true too, but more so for women, if you have a hookup buddy that you go to anytime you're looking for a little frisky business, you will develop feelings for that person. There was one woman profiled in this article who said that she would purposely pick a hookup buddy that she couldn't stand, like someone that she didn't get along with. She hated his personality, but she loved the sex, right? So maybe
why didn't I go to that pen? There's so many people who hated me. It would have been perfect.
So maybe in that scenario it could work, but if you generally get along with that person and you enjoy their intimate company, of course you could definitely develop feelings for them.
Yeah. So like, do men catch feelings from time to time? Of course they do. Look, we're all human beings, right? And we're structured, biologically engineered to catch some degree of feelings, right? And look, I don't care what anybody says, like a woman, if she gets pregnant, I'm talking about it's just Homo sapiens, who we are. You know, we want to spread our seed. Women want to get as much seed as possible. That's also reality. So
that's such a weird way.
I know, it's true.
I want to get some seed.
Yeah, look, they don't just catch feelings; they also catch the seed. Okay, that's an absolute biological reality that we're both driven to do that, right? But at the same time, a woman has to have some help while pregnant and after the pregnancy. And if I love the idea that evolution would forget to give them the imperative to request that help from a partner. Like, oh, oops, I forgot that. Woman wanders off while she's pregnant and incredibly vulnerable.
Right.
That's not what happens. So that's why women are a little more likely to catch feelings.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not going to change no matter what the society or culture is, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, it might not change. Like, for instance, monogamy is a societal expectation, right? It's not in our biology to be monogamous.
For our whole life, no way. You're absolutely right.
Right. So society will tell us one thing, and then our biology will tell us another, and that's when you have infidelity and sexual misconduct and all of that other stuff. In this case, biology might tell a woman, like, find a mate, stay with that guy, have him raise your kids, blah, blah, blah. That's our biology. But at the same time, now society is changing. Now society is saying, look, you have financial independence. You have the ability to create your own life, do what you want to do what makes you happy. So it's interesting that there's like a conflicting message with nature versus nurture here.
And look, I want everybody to understand this is a nuanced thing. A lot of these things are true, right? You know, I'm a little tongue-in-cheek in the beginning about, you know, how, no, it's just that guys have, it's not just that, right? But I do believe that guys have found a magical way to say, like, just hook up and then leave and then never see me again, or just come and see me for sex periodically. I mean, that's a win-win-win-win-win for guys. I don't know how they got to that situation, but bless their hearts, you know, I feel good for them, okay?
Are we being a little unfair to guys, though? Because, yeah, okay, so there's that generalization that all guys just want to have sex and they're never looking for anything deeper than that. But I'm sure there are guys out there that do want something deeper than that. They want that emotional connection.
I guess, I mean...
You're the worst. This is
No,
like
I'm
Mr.
kidding.
Serious, what is it?
No, I'm a serial monogamist. It's
Yeah.
absolutely true, and that's what I've done throughout my life. Now, of course, you want to cuddle at times too, and everybody can't be stone cold. Dylan ruined all my street cred. Okay, but so I get that. It's a balance. It's a balance. All I'm saying is, guys enjoy the hookup just as a hookup without any other expectations, etc. A little more than women do. Now, the fact that women also enjoy it from time to time now is a wonderful thing. God bless. Have at it, Hoss.